oil. You could use butter as well. What you want to do is saute that onion so that it has some flavor. Not only do you saute it, but now what you want to do is add just some simple salt and pepper, whatever kind of pepper you like. Once the onion cooks about 3 or 4 minutes, the next ingredient for a simple rice pilaf. This is bay leaf from the laurel tree. This is actually a piece of the laurel tree. Fresh, grows everywhere in Louisiana, just like the dry. What you want to do is take about 2 or 3, 4, depending on size, of these bay leaves from the laurel tree and add them. Then the next thing you want to add is the rice. And you want to just kind of stir that around. You want to just kind of stir it around for a couple of minutes. Let some of the oil coat it. And that's when you want to add your stock, or if you don't have stock, you can just add water. And one of the basic tricks that they say is this pot right here. You see this part of your finger right here? Well, right there, that first little indentation. When the water generally comes up to that pot right there, you know you have enough water covering the rice. And that's exactly what you want to do. You bring it up to a simmer, put the lid on it, just simmer it, and you should have the perfect rice. When we come back, we're going to kick rice up a couple of notches by making a classic Louisiana sausage, Boudin. Stay with me right here on the Essence. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back, and we're cooking with rice today. Very simple rice pilaf. And I told you just before we left that we were going to come back and do a true Louisiana native sausage, right? Boudin is what it's called. B-O-U-D-A-N. Boudin. Boudin, 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 Boudani, Boudin. Boudin. It means rice. That's right. And it's a staple in those parts of Lafayette and St. Martinville and all my friends down there in Baton Rouge. Hey, guys, how you all doing? Rice. It's a rice sausage. But not only is it just a rice sausage, you got to have rice. Not only that, you got to have pork, because pork fat rules, right? Now, let me show you something. Here's how you make boudin from scratch. You take a little bit of oil, okay? You take a little bit of oil and you take some beautiful pork that's about 90% lean. And you take that pork and you cut it in a 1/2 inch or 1 inch dice pieces. And you begin to start browning that pork. Really, really good and brown. And not only do you start getting it good and brown, okay? Not only you start getting it really good and brown, but what you're going to do now, what? You're saying, what is boudin? Boudin? Huh? There's white boudin, and then there's like a red boudin. Now, this is a rice. This is everywhere in Louisiana. You buy these in little stores. We're going to put a little bit of salt. We'll come back and re-season that later. That's right. And a little bit of cayenne, baby. Kick it up a few notches, you know? And once we start getting that pork brown like that, really good and brown, the other essential part is onion, celery, fresh garlic, and some bell pepper. But we're going to come back to that in a little bit. It's B-O-U-D-A-N-I-N. I-N, boudin, right? So we got the vegetables. We got our pork that we're browning. And then what you want to do is you want to get a little bit of pork liver. Okay? That's a pork liver. And what we're going to do you see, what we're going to do is this. We're going to now start adding the liver inside of the pork meat because we want to get it really, really, really good and brown. You see that? We're going to get this baby really good and brown. Once we get it really good and brown, I mean really good and brown. We'll check on our rice real quick. See how our rice is doing. Oh, yeah, babe. All right. We're ready to turn the rice off. Now, I'm going to show you what we're going to do with that simple rice like we do down in Louisiana. So you get the pork and the liver starts browning. That's when you start adding the vegetables in there. You start cooking that. Then once you get it really good and brown, because you want to get some color off that, you see? Then what you do is you add a little bit of bay leaf. And then you take some H2O and you cover it like that. You bring it up to a boil and you stop poaching that meat and the liver and you stop poaching it. You cook it away, baby. You just cook it away. Half of that liquid's going to evaporate and the pork's going to start getting tender. Are you with me out there? All right. Now, once that happens, you put it through your fine and dandy grinder. Or if you got a Cuisinart, you can do that, or a food processor, get it in there. And now you have that pork and liver and vegetable texture just like that, right? That's the next step. You let it cool, you drain the liquid, you put that through the meat grinder, food processor, voila, you have this. But that ain't no Boudin. That's right. It ain't Boudin until you add rice in it, at least in Louisiana. So now you know why we had to make a simple rice, right? Because now, after this rice gets a little cool, and you take them bay leaves, see them bay leaves right there? You take them bay leaves out. And you add a little bit of rice at a time. You see that? And then you mix that filling. Now that is looking like Boudin to me. All my friends down there in Lafayette, my friend Rock. You see that? Now that's going to be Boudin. You see that? That's going to be Boudin. Now, you can add as much rice as you like. That is like the perfect amount for good Boudin right there. But there's something missing. What's missing is this. You add a little bit of chopped parsley in there. And you add some green onion. And you taste it. Now you need to adjust the seasoning. You kick up the heat a little bit with some cayenne. And we add a little bit of salt. Yeah. Now you're ready. Now you can either make Boudin patties. They're okay. They're good. Don't misunderstand me. They're good. Or what you can do is you can get your chicken, turkey, quail, whatever you like, squab. You could stuff it with this Boudin filling right here. Woo! Or you can get some casings. You get some casings that have been soaking. You see that? And what you can do, you see you tie a little knot right here in the end in your casings. And then what you can do is then you could really make some good old boudin like we do down there in Louisiana. And how you do that is you reset your machine with an extruder to do the sausage. You see that? And you put that casing, you find that end right there, and you put this casing. I'm going to show you how you feed that on there. Hey, sometimes, you know, it takes a little bit of time for it to happen. Now, you see that? Then what you do is you feed that casing back like that. You pull it back, just like I'm doing. And that way you can make boudin links. Okay? You make boudin links, just like what I'm doing here. I'm going to put this filling, and we're going to start making boudin links. Now, when we come back, I'm going to have some, and I'm going to start showing you, and then we're going to kick it up, because we're going to take this delicious boudin, and we're going to kick it up so high with some creamy grits. Stay with me. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. So now you know how you get that boudin. You extract that boudin like that, and you just keep working that down and down if you don't want to do your patties. Then you get all your boudin sausage, and you can make little links, big links. It all depends what kind of links you want. Then when you get down to the end, what you're going to have to do, you see I'm getting right down to that, you stop it. Because then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to tie it. Okay? When you get down to the very end, and then you start that process over again. And that's the boudin. Okay? Refrigerate that. Woo! Make you happy, happy. Speaking about happy, you see, once you get the boudin like that in the links, now what you do when you're ready to cook it is you poach it. You poach it in a little bit of water. I eat about 3 links myself. Then, while that's poaching, I'm just going to caramelize a little bit of onion right here. Not only that, I'm going to add a little bit of salt. And I'm going to use some cayenne pepper to kick it up a couple notches, you know. Now, you add whatever you want. You want bell pepper in there, add bell pepper. I just like onion. You want cane syrup, add cane syrup. Just open a big bottle of beer, pour a beer in there, you know, make yourself happy. So now, this is caramelizing, our sausage is poaching. I'm going to show you another great thing that I love. What I love is just taking a little bit of milk, add a little bit of salt to that milk so it tastes good. Maybe a little bit of hot sauce would be nice in there too. Now you got hot milk. Then I like to put a little bit of garlic inside the milk. And then I like to add some grits. I'll cook some grits like that. We'll make some creamy grits. Now, when them grits cook, what happens when them grits cook? Well, what I like to do is then, I like to make them cheesy grits. We'll put some nice cheddar cheese in there, or whatever kind of cheese turns you on. Now, while those grits are working, I'm going to show you about this boudin. Because the boudin, once you poach it, about 3-4 minutes, you want to be sure you don't break the casing up, okay? You want to be sure you don't break the casing up. Then what I like to do is just where we were turning them, you see? You kind of cut them like that. My favorite dish is this. You take them and put them inside them caramelized onions like that, right? maybe a little bit of Creole mustard. You see that? Oh, look at that, how simple that is. You slap a couple of links like that on some bread. Woo, man, make you happy, man. Now, I add a little bit of just some stock, a little meat juices. And then, you know, once these grits get done now, there's nothing better. Well, I'll tell you what there's nothing better of. I'm going to kick these grits up a little bit more. I'm going to add a little bit of chiffonade spinach to them, too. Okay? And while I'm just finished cooking up these grits, you're probably saying to yourself, how do I get a copy of the recipes? Well, if you want a copy of the recipes, here's how you get them. It's this simple.
If you would like a copy of the recipes you've just seen, please send us a check for $4 shipping and handling to Food Network, P.O. Box 9300, Central Islip, New York, 11722. That address again is Food Network, P.O. Box 9300, Central Islip, New York, 11722. You can also get the recipes for free when you visit our website at foodtv.com or AOL keyword food.
So now we got these like incredible spinach cheesy grits. And the way that I like to do them is I like them nice and soupy like that, you know? Nice and soupy, because let me tell you what we're going to do. You have them on the bottom, and then you take that boudin, right? And you put a link over here, and a link over there, and a link there, and you pour that sauce and then onions all over that like that. Woo! You want to talk about good. Maybe even with a little sweet corn, you know? Oh, yeah, babe, just like that, you know? And then you just come back and go, bam, just like that. Hey, boudin, baby. Who loves you? Hey, thanks for joining me today. I'm Emeril Lagasse, and I'll see you right here tomorrow on The Essence of Emeril. Bye now. Thank you.